You're listening to JW Raw with Eminem.
We are live.
Thank you for tuning in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in. We appreciate it. Whatever time zone or day of the week or the day of the whatever the day it is, whatever time it is, you're tuning in. Thank you for that. We have such a special treat for you guys today on our show. Crazy Steve.
Straight up. No one knows his last name. Just Crazy Steve.
Nobody even knows his real name. We just call him Crazy Steve. Welcome to the show, Crazy Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What he is one of our OGs.
Original Greg Jackson student, Steve. For how many years?
27 years.
27 years with Greg Jackson.
Yeah,
we have a picture there on the wall. Remember where you and Greg, when Greg is so young, and you guys aspiring or something?
Yes, we met in 1990 when Greg was still in high school.
Wow.
I was working out in a gym called Body Elite, which doesn't exist anymore. And I was training with my weapons in the aerobics room, and Greg walked in. And we hit it off immediately. He asked very intelligent questions about the weapons. And he said that, he was a wrestler, and I had done judo all of my life, and I showed him some ground submissions of judo, and he showed me numerous ways to counter these submissions, techniques I'd never seen before, and I trained all my life. So I knew immediately that Greg is a prodigy.
There you go. And that's how it all started. So you started training under his tutelage back then, and you've never left.
That is correct.
So you brought some of your toys with us, with you on the show today.
You are straight up, what they call me, Master at Arms? Yeah? Master at Arms? Huh?
Sergeant of Arms.
Sergeant?
I do have a weapons fetish.
Yeah.
There's pictures of you. There's
He's
videos
probably
of
the most
you.
dangerous man in this place. Literally.
There's literally UFC shows and all kinds of shows with you running around the gym with your with either your one of your rifles.
Most famous machine gun right here, because when people will come in and who is this guy? Because you do warm-ups with everyone, and then people be like,
we get so many comments from the hecklers.
Especially
why is this guy carrying a grenade launcher in training?
Especially new people that come in.
Yes, I've heard quite a few new people, and the most common response is, "Who is the psychopath with the machine gun?"
I was
psychopath. You really are a psychopath.
I was psychopath.
Okay,
you're not.
Tell us about this thing.
So the story of this weapon, what is this?
This is an M60 pellet gun, not the real one.
But it's an exact replica.
We won't let you here with the real gun, no way.
I know. It's not an exact replica, but it's very close, right? And this is a very powerful pellet gun. Shoots 420 feet a second. It will kill pigeons, and
nice.
I've shot a few pigeons in my time.
So if you have a pigeon infantation, give Steve a call.
Pigeons,
we'll take care of that for you.
Pigeons, watch out, man.
But don't.
There's no pigeons left in Albuquerque, probably. Yes, Steve.
Pigeon lives matter. Don't send us bad hate mail.
Pigeons live matter.
We love Steve and his.
Okay, so we have the standard tripod and the hand grips, and the most important is this ammo pouch, which will hold 4,000 pellets.
Wow.
So superior firepower.
A belt fit.
Right.
Pellet.
Yeah, you can put it on full automatic, and it will spit out 18 pellets a second.
Wow.
Holy crap.
All right, and you have your battery connections here, where you use what's called a lithium battery, which is a very powerful battery. You have to charge it inside a pouch because it might explode.
Wow.
This thing's legit. I never
Seriously.
realized it was so sophisticated.
It is. It is actually more sophisticated than the real M16.
Wow.
Right, and we have the old school iron sights here. I love it.
Sights,
right. Scopes are for
Marine
pussies.
Corps.
Yeah.
They don't teach that's all they teach in the Marine Corps, which that's another thing that crazy. Tell us about your life. How did you? What's your history? Were you born and raised here in Albuquerque?
I was not.
Okay.
The military sent me here, and I've been here ever since.
Which branch were you in?
The Marine Corps.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi, do or die.
Hoorah.
Yeah, all veterans are brothers.
So they sent you here to Albuquerque, and you just retired from here.
I did.
You liked it that much?
Oh, I love the climate.
So when did you retire?
Me too, Steve. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, over 300 days a year of sunshine. Beautiful.
Clean air.
So I remember Steve 27 years ago. He used to hang out at a couple of our local bars that aren't even around anymore. Midnight Rodeo.
You knew him from back then?
Yeah.
You knew him back then?
Yeah, he's a legend. He was famous back then for his dancing skills.
I think you still dance, right? You go
Of
to
course,
some
yeah.
place.
Yeah, fighting, dancing, the concepts are the same. Rhythm, timing, distancing. Can we use the F-bomb on air?
You do whatever you want. We're raw.
Okay, Midnight Rodeo, we used to call it Midnight Fuck-a-ho. Or Midnight Road-a-ho.
That's about right.
Yeah, Midnight Ride-a-ho, Midnight Ho-to-go. Any variation.
Rope-a-ho.
Yeah, any variation of ho. Right. And the dance floor was just really awesome. It was a gigantic racetrack, so I could just pass all the slow pokes. And I won every dance contest there.
And he got so good at it that I was a rookie cop back then, and we used to work overtime at bars, and so we'd go in there and watch this guy. He got so good that he started doing it on roller skates. It wasn't good enough that he was just doing it on his regular feet. He started stepping it up, and Midnight Rodeo had this cool dance floor that was like a big racetrack. It was like a big circular wooden dance floor, and so Steve would get on his roller skates and racing around that thing.
Well, I do like a reasonable challenge, and dancing on the skates was a challenge.
and for some reason, these women just flocked to him. I said, "Who this guy, man? What the heck?" And women love the guy just because he knew how to dance. That's the trick.
Yeah, that's
well, I was taught, from childhood, the golden rule of dance etiquette is never refuse a dance. And I never have refused a dance, and I never will. And I've danced with 3-year-old girls to 100-years-old lady to everyone in between. And I have danced with some of the ugliest. I mean, break a mirror fucking ugly.
But you can't say no, Steve.
I will not say no. If she asked me, I will never refuse. And some of the foo fats, I mean, lard ass pig fucking fat.
Oh
what
my
if
God.
she wants to take you home? You still stick to your guns?
That's where it ends, right? That's where it ends.
That's
After
where
the
it
dance.
ends.
The dance is over. Sun is over. Out on my roller skates. I'm out.
Yeah, well, I'll dance with her at once.
You're
right?
funny.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know, but you a very, very smart guy, man. Like, you have some of the most intelligent conversations that we always talk, and it's a good pleasure, to listen to you talk, man. You have some good experience in life.
I do have a lifetime of experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Even in martial arts too, man. I have weapons, martial art, women dance, and everything, man. You can.
So the weapons thing in martial arts, was that something that you did before the Marine Corps, or was that something you picked up during the Marine Corps?
No, I've been training in numerous martial arts since I was like 4 or 5 years old, right? And part of the karate training was weaponry. Right, so
especially back in the day, they loved weapons, like with Bruce Lee, that his nunchucks and stuff, which will show us later. Yeah.
And the weapon arts are just so beneficial. I spar guys in the UFC, and to my eye, they look slow. But, I'm used to, a stick whizzing past me, and they've done, scientific studies where,
stick is fast.
The stick is 3 times faster than the fastest punch and kick.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so when you hear the whoosh, right?
It's too late. It's already too late. If you hear the whoosh, you've already been hit.
Yeah. Well, a million war stories. One of my teachers was a grandmaster of stick fighting, and he was so good that he could swing the stick full power and full speed and scrape my eyebrows. He always used me because I was the only person who would not flinch. Everybody else.
Yeah, because if you flinch, you could hurt yourself.
Everybody else would flinch, right? And he would scrape my eyebrows.
It's funny because we observe you all the time, right? When you have like Mad Max come over, we have another older gentleman that comes in, and Crazy Steve and Mad Max.
They start rolling.
They come in, you start rolling, doing all your fancy moves and takedowns and things. It's actually
how old are you, Steve?
pretty funny to watch. Yeah, no. You don't have to say it,
Okay, I'm an old fucker.
Max is older though.
And you were born in the South.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you still got family down there and everything.
How many punching bags did you ruin with your knives in this place?
Bob. Poor Bob.
Bob. We had a Bob.
Bob's head fell off.
Bob Mannequin. So we'll have Steve come in with his fancy knives, and he'll practice all this type of funny moves and these techniques and things, and then Bob's head fell off.
Hey, but in Steve's defense, he bought a new Bob.
Yeah,
he fixed it. He repaired it.
And Steve was very upset when Bob got hurt, right?
Yeah, actually, it wasn't me that punched his head off.
No. You just cut it loose. You just made it loose.
It was already loose from your knife.
I think Michelle actually kicked it off.
Yeah.
Michelle Watterson finally kicked it off.
But it was already loose.
Yeah, there's
years of abuse. But yeah, in his defense, he did get us a new Bob. He spent a lot of time putting that thing together.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the ass.
Who was it? We had a T-shirt on it, somebody's T-shirt, and he was just stabbing the hell out of it.
It was Superhuman, Jim. I remember.
It was somebody's weird name on there. He was stabbing the crap out of it.
Anyway, so you brought a lot of weapons here, right?
I did.
Us talk about. Let's talk about some of your weapons, man. I'm very curious.
What's next in the toy box here?
Yeah, start bringing one. Tell us the history and what it does, and it's guys.
We should challenge people online and guess the next weapon.
Yeah,
What's he pulling out next?
Never guess.
A bamboo stick.
Okay, this is a rattan stick. It's not actually bamboo, so it's a vine. It's not wood. It's actually porous, right?
Wow.
And
say
you
it
use
again. Rattan.
rattan. Yeah.
And where's it from? What's its origination?
The Philippines.
That's the one when you always scream shrink conditioner, right? Start hitting yourself in the shin.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Steve got some of the most lethal shins in the business, man.
And Wink is the only one that lets him do shin conditioning on him.
Yeah. Actually,
Wink is
A Million War Stories. They are part metal.
Yours are, yeah, not Wink's.
So what is that number 55 on there?
That's
kills.
That's my
55 kills.
Yeah, that's the number of people who have tried and died.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Yeah.
What's the number?
It's a secret number.
55. Yeah.
He doesn't want to talk to this.
They've tried and died.
He's got a lot of secrets.
I do have a lot of secrets.
What's the history with this weapon? Tell us about it from the Philippines. What's it used for? Or is it a weapon or what is it?
It is a vicious, deadly weapon. If you hit somebody in the head with this, obviously you can kill them. And the history of it is, it was used for thousands of years, right? That's the very first weapon that a caveman picked up, right? And it's very sophisticated. There's a lot of geometry and angles and trajectory, right? And you can hit with it. You can actually grapple with it too, right? You can choke somebody out.
I bet.
Yeah, one of my teachers, like I said, he was a master of the stick fighting, and he would choke me with 2 sticks, and he'd go off at 10 o'clock at night, and we'd train till 3 in the morning. So I remember being choked with 2 sticks at 3 o'clock in the morning.
With 2 sticks?
Yes.
So is it like he's holding it in a certain way, or?
It's complicated.
Yeah, it sounds complicated.
Yeah, it is a very sophisticated technique.
So is this what they're caning people with, or what?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. When you screw up in the Philippines, you pay. There's consequences.
Light, right?
It's very light. Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Next one. How many did you bring? Like 50?
Just a few to keep myself amused.
Yeah, but you've mastered all these tools. The famous cane.
The cane.
It's got notches on it. This is what's cool about this thing.
The cane is.
The real deal.
The cane is the most practical weapon for the simple reason I could take it anywhere. I've taken it into court. I've taken it into the airports, past all the security and the metal detectors.
Yeah, because they can't say anything about it, right?
Yeah,
Disabilities.
it's a
Americans with-
medical device according to the Disabilities Act.
But if you know how to use it, like you
It
do,
is a vicious, deadly weapon. It's even more deadly than the straight stick because of the crook, and what you can do with this crook is extremely nasty.
Oh, I know. You can hook someone by the neck and stuff.
Yeah, you can easily break their neck and kill them.
certain people's necks, so they got to fit around. Maybe yours, but
Hey, but you know,
Well, then the
It-
end will go
Yeah.
inside your Adam's apple.
Yeah.
How about
yes.
that?
Yeah, this part is called the horn, right? And yeah, you can actually you can
they
strike.
see
What,
with
what
it.
are those
can I
notches?
see that on
What
the
are those
camera?
notches? Just for grips?
The notches have a couple of purposes. Number one is for indexing, right? So I can feel where I can change the length of the weapon, right?
Holy crap!
Right, so I can change the length of the weapon. And the other is for close quarters, I can rake the person. And if you ever got raked on your collarbone with this, that's pain you're going to remember.
So it's kind of like Braille. You're reading it as you're handling it. And you
Yes,
know
it
how-
is. Yeah, it's
interesting.
that's exactly the concept.
That's crazy.
right.
Wow,
You
Steve.
know, I've done it so often, you know, with my eyes closed.
Because you always
I
stand
can-
there. You always stand there spinning that thing like for hours.
Yes.
So make a note, TSA. If you see a cane with the notches in it,
Yeah.
you're letting a very skilled person on that aircraft
Or into that courtroom.
or into the courtroom. Yeah.
You know, a million war stories. You get all kinds of other perks with it. People open doors for me,
Nice.
right? In a crowded sports bar, people give me their seat, right?
Wow.
It's
And
got
but
all
the-
type of
He,
purposes.
he,
But-
gets, he gets to park in the handicap spot up front.
Well, I do have reconstructed knees, right?
Alright.
Right. But yeah, this is just a wonderful, wonderful weapon. Like I said, the best part of it is you can take it anywhere. It's the only weapon you
Concealed
can take
carry.
You can
Pretty
take
much.
anywhere. Yeah.
Pretty much
Well, it's
concealed.
hot-
It's concealed and wide open. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hidden in plain sight.
there you go.
Right.
It's perfect.
All right.
That's badass.
Let's go next one.
All right.
I like where it's
this
going.
This is the most practical weapon.
Oh, I
well,
remember
shucks.
that one. That's
Oh,
oh,
shit.
Jesus Christ! I remember you started swinging that thing, and everyone in the vicinity of you just runs, especially the old gym. I remember Tom Dukunwa, man, was at the wall. He was like stuck at the wall while he was spinning, like this, because that thing was like by his face, like swinging like this.
Crouching
Yeah,
tiger.
everybody runs. I can't understand why.
Well,
Okay, we go from the most practical to the most difficult to manipulate. So the 3 sticks is very, very extremely difficult to manipulate.
Well, shit. Even the two-sided one looks complicated. Now this
Yeah.
this adds a third. Yeah.
Yeah, and as you can see, this one is rubber because
Oh, yeah. It's been chewed off on the end.
Yeah, yeah. If you the metal and the wood ones, you can literally knock yourself out.
So what do you use this for? Is it what?
This is not a practical weapon, but like I said, it's an extremely it's the most challenging weapon to manipulate. So I use it, to enhance my fine motor skills, right? And I can it's similar to the movement to the butterfly knives.
Yeah. So this is more for a show, like
Yeah,
show,
it is. Yeah, it is more.
but it helps your
For
dexterity.
and for intimidation factors, right?
Oh yeah, you start
what's the
swinging
actual
it.
name of it?
3-sectional staff.
3-sectional stuff.
Staff.
Yeah. The history of it
No, you
was.
can hold the middle and like kind of spin it, right? Hold the middle one, and
Yeah.
then it just spins on the side. You could.
Yeah, I
that's-
wish we
that's-
had enough room for him to kind of
Yeah,
demonstrate
it's
some of this
it's
stuff.
No
like I said,
thanks.
it's extreme.
No thanks.
Yeah, that's why I said I wish we had enough room.
There's
There's
no,
too much
there's no,
equipment in
there's
there.
no enough room even downstairs. Enough room, everyone runs
Like I
away.
said, it is extremely difficult to manipulate.
Is it heavy?
No,
Oh,
but
this is the
this
rubber
is
one,
this is the rubber.
the
right.
rubber version.
Right. And moving right
It's
along
a
here.
little safer. That's awesome.
And here we have the
Oh.
boken, which is the replica. Boken, which means wooden sword. The replica of the samurai sword, which is called a katana.
Katana.
Right.
That's a famous
Right.
word.
Right. So this is the most efficient cutting weapon ever
The katana.
devised. Right. Right. And the aliens said more people have been killed with a wooden sword than the metal one. Right.
Really?
So
Yeah,
you, know,
get
so you
knocked
can see.
unconscious.
You know, you can see if you hit somebody in the head with
course.
this, that is
It's a solid
also
piece of wood.
lethal.
And
Yeah.
crack.
Right. And this is the guard. It's a two-handed weapon, right? So the guard is here and the edge is here.
Where do you get this stuff? Did you find it online, or of course you've had it so long there was no online?
No.
How did you even find this stuff?
Um,
Did you get it in the service?
it was numerous sources,
Yeah.
right? A lot of sources. Right, but this is one of my favorites. If you can see the engraving on here,
I
it's
saw that.
really,
What is it?
really
Is it like yin yang?
What's the
Yeah.
history with that? Yeah.
Yin yang.
right. Right, so you know we have
Kind
the
of
sun there,
sun- sun with
and
yin
we
yang
have
or something,
the stick man, right? So it's really some intricate engraving.
I've seen him playing with it downstairs too.
Yeah,
When he's swinging that thing.
and
Yeah,
what
you
I really like about it is there's an art called Eido, which is literally the art of quick draw sword. So the fastest with the mostest is the bestest.
And that's what you train?
And that's what I train, and it's directly applicable to the handgun, right? So, right, I can draw the handgun really fast because of all the training with the sword, right? And it's more difficult to get the sword out of the scabbard.
So you're out of the holster on target
Yes,
just faster because of your training with this katana.
exactly.
Wow.
Because it's to get this out of the scabbard is
Same process. Yeah.
is the same process, but
Harder.
it's more
Yeah,
difficult
of course,
because the
it's a longer
scabbard.
draw.
Exactly.
As a matter
You-
of fact, you've seen
yeah.
mine?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's from Afghanistan or something.
I
It's-
just wanted to know, but that's pretty cool, no?
Oh, outstanding! I love it.
Yeah, that's-
See,
that's-
I got some weapons too. So.
yeah, it's painful.
And
What's
then we
next?
go to
Oh, jeez.
Oh, hey, I'm familiar with this one. The asp.
Yeah, it takes. You need the room.
Oh, the thing's getting rusty.
we just need to stand up
We need more. Oh, there we
Boom!
go. no, that.
Ow!
I saw you do the Matrix.
Ow!
So that
that's
was the
the-
replacement
No.
for law enforcement.
Yeah,
with,
but those at the end, that's the stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a stick like that, but without the end.
Yeah, we didn't have that. We weren't allowed to have that. That's
Okay.
the extra.
That's
Okay,
that's
this
Steve,
is-
Steve edition. Crazy
This
Steve
is
edition.
the expandable baton, right? Also a very practical weapon because it can be easily carried and then more importantly concealed. And we have the enhancement here of the mushroom head. Okay, so it serves two purposes. Number one, it's not going to slip out of my hand. And number two, I can crack your dome with it.
if you're surviving all the strikes,
Yeah.
all else fails. You just strike them with that thing.
Yeah, like I said, if you've been hit with this, that's pain you're going to remember.
So when I started law enforcement, we carried the PR-24,
Which is,
yeah,
a version of the Tonfa.
and so that got too intimidating or too dangerous, and so they replaced it with the expandable baton,
Right.
and that's what they're currently carrying, along with the taser and some other stuff.
Mhm. But, you know,
It's had a long run.
yeah, the expandable baton is directly applicable to the Eskrima stick. I mean, many of the techniques are the same.
Well, we were very apprehensive about it when it came out because we're like, what the heck is this thing? It'll bend. It's like a toy, you know. And they're actually very tough. They're actually very strong, especially when they're expanded.
Easy.
If you-
that little point at the end.
The trick is to expand it correctly, you know, with that force so that it locks in,
Mm.
and to retract it, you have to hit it on the ground pretty hard to get it back in.
Yeah, if you have the ice pick grip and you hit it on the ground.
Yeah.
Crazy Steve, people are wanting to hire you to come over and do a party with your weapons. and just
Seminar party.
give it education while taking it out of the bag. Just so you know.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. I see you getting some business.
All right, so yeah, the expandable baton is very good. And the double-edged knife.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, so we have the calligraphy here
Yeah.
too. All right.
So what is this? What kind of writing is this? Japanese or
This is actually Chinese.
Chinese?
Right. And that is the style of the knife. Right.
double edged?
Yeah, so the most deadly edged weapon is a fixed double-edged weapon. Right. Right. And the angles and trajectory are the same as the impact weapon, but the delivery is different because you actually want to cut with an edged weapon. You don't want to smash the person.
So
Right.
so who would carry something like this weapon, for example? I mean, what?
Military operators, jihadis.
Because when they stab somebody, they wanted to do some serious damage.
No, they want
No
to
shit.
Yeah.
they want to kill
Yeah,
you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
Bleed.
so
It's not like the
yeah,
one-sided.
all of the weapon arts I've ever studied, the knives terrify me more than anything else.
Well, believe me,
Nice,
that's
yeah.
Well, same thing in law enforcement, of course. You know, with a vest, it may stop some bullets, but the vest is useless against the knife.
Yes.
You know, it will cut right through that thing like butter. You know.
Yeah, and it's so terrifying
It
because
would?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
if your assailant is a military operator or a jihadi, you're not even going to see the knife. You're just going to be dead.
Yeah. You won't even feel it.
Yeah.
You'll see some blood. You'll see red, and that's about it. Yeah, it's over.
All right, so the angles and trajectory are the same as with the stick.
And what you're doing there, we see you practice that stuff all the time, the different movements and stuff. So you practice.
Yes.
Sometimes you'll have two even.
This is the hammer grip, right? So I'm holding the knife like I would hold a hammer, right? And what's difficult is to transition to the ice pick grip, like I'm holding it like an ice pick, and not drop it, right? Right, but you're doing different angles as you do that.
Kids, if you're watching this at home, do
Don't
not
do
try
it at
this at
home.
home. Steve is
an
literally a
expert.
trained expert. So don't do what he's doing. He's
Yeah, so-
Even adults. Got to give it up to the adults, too.
you know, if adults are dumb enough to do this stuff, then God bless you. But kids, don't grab the knife and do
Yeah,
what crazy Steve's doing.
The producer was just covering the show. That's all.
Yeah,
So we need population control for certain.
Like I
adults.
said, the edged weapons, you're gonna cut yourself. You can see my hand there, right? You can see all the
got some scars,
scars.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
from-
everywhere.
So just
Yeah.
practicing, you've cut
yeah,
yourself. yeah.
I've cut myself, right? And from the stick fighting, I've gotten lumps in my arms from getting smashed with a stick. Right, so you think a cage match is brutal? That stick doesn't feel any pain.
So have you done? Speaking of, have you done any competitions with any of your weapons? Competed with?
Yeah,
With a baton or
yeah.
any-
For many years, I did kendo, and I did what was called the SCA, which is a Society of Creative Anachronisms. And that's the
What
most.
crap?
It's you dress up like medieval knights.
That is literally the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah, you dress up like medieval knights.
Okay, I've
right?
seen those guys. They
Right,
practice at a park over there on Pennsylvania and Indian School all the time. I see it. With their full garb and swords and
Yeah.
hammers and
it's the most brutal martial art I've ever done.
you used to do that.
Oh yeah, no. So imagine 10 guys in full body armor with wooden swords
Running
and
at each other.
hammers and axes bum rush you.
And that's how they did
Yeah.
it back in the day.
That's how we did it back in the day.
And so they're just
So yeah,
recreating it.
cage match, it's 1-on-1, right? There's
Yeah.
no weapons, right?
That's why when you look those like movies like Braveheart and stuff like that, and you see this like
They
so
barely got
many
protection. Yeah.
hundreds of people and hundreds of people with like blunt weapons and sharp objects and things like that, just trying to like, yo man, your body is like
Shield
getting
in one hand.
shredded into pieces, man. In so many different
it
directions.
was so brutal. I had stick hickeys all over my body afterwards.
You would fit in perfectly in medieval times, bro. Perfectly, man. I think you're from that era. I think you're from
a,
that era.
a lot of
How
my
long you been on this earth? Tell me, man. How many 100 years?
yeah,
Steve, is there
Well, actually-
is it Shanklin?
Yeah, my sword teachers said that I was a reincarnated samurai.
I think
Yeah,
so too,
it's
man.
possible.
I was thinking about it.
Reincarnated.
Jesus Christ. Reincarnated
He was
samurai.
Japanese in his prior life.
He was just somebody, man, who used to do a lot of damage, inflict a lot of pain on somebody, man, back in the day.
Yeah, but I just love this gym. It's so much fun to terrorize. I mean, motivate cage fighters.
Well, that brings up a good point. I
He
mean,
would go out there and spar with guys wearing like shin pads, but not what they call it, like the metal shin
People
pads.
run
No,
from
they're
Steve.
actually plastic.
Oh, they're plastic.
Yeah,
Plastic.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
so
you
it's
don't want to
a-
get kicked with those on. That's for sure.
Yeah, actually, many years ago, I got more complaints, when I had the soft ones because I've got part metal shins.
So it
Oh,
hurts.
wow.
They're actually hitting metal back then.
And, and I need to protect my knees, so I'm not really trying to hurt anybody, but,
Comes with it, yeah.
I gotta protect my knees.
Well, you-
That and there's something about me kicking them on the groin.
Cup checks. Well, no, you brought up a good point about the gym, how much you like it. This is what, your fourth version of the gym?
He was through a beginning.
I
He
don't
was
know.
through-
I've
You lost track?
I've lost track.
Because it went from Greg Jackson's backyard to
Right.
to his garage.
This is by
to-
far the biggest, the best, right?
Yes, yeah. All the martial arts schools I've been a member of, this is the best,
Yeah.
far and away. And so many amazing athletes and awesome coaches. It's just a joy to train here every day.
People
Thank
light
you.
up when they
And
see
we'll,
you.
We love you here, Steve. You like I don't know, the mascot. I mean, this gym without you is not the same. I always tell this. I mean, like, you need a monument, man, to this place. You're like with this gym.
Well, him and Boris, I don't know. There's a
yeah, you
it's
and Boris,
close.
two of you, and it just like, but you being the OG.
But Steve,
Yeah,
Steve's
actually,
definitely been here longer.
Mad Max, he's been here almost as long as
yeah,
me.
Mad Max is here.
We just
Yeah.
don't see Mad Max as
As
much.
often.
Yeah,
He comes
that's
in
true.
like once a week, a couple of
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
You're here every day.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one because I know you have way more. Way more. We didn't stop yet, guys. Which is yeah.
Okay, so we got the training guns.
Oh, yeah,
right?
okay.
So we got the old blunderbuss here. Right? So-
That's
Dirty
man.
Harry. Yeah.
357,
Then we
44
got
back.
the
Semi-auto.
the semi-automatic.
I'll see you in the
right?
corner all the time, or in front of the window, kind of like doing the drills all the time.
Right,
pulling
yeah,
out the
I'm
guns.
doing the quick draw, the
Yeah, quick
EI-DO, right? The firstest with the mostest is the bestest.
So what is this made out of? Rubber?
Yeah, it's rubber. Hey, but a lot of people don't know this, but this is a very effective impact weapon too, right? So if you ever get hit with one of these,
The real one, yeah.
yeah, that's pain you're
When
gonna
you run
remember.
out of the 6 bullets that are in it,
Right,
you
yeah.
might as well turn it into a club.
Right. Yeah, it's a very good training tool, right? So I play my quick draw with it.
So what? Let me ask your opinion about that. I mean, revolver versus semi-auto. What do you prefer? What do you think is a
I
better
prefer the semi-auto just for the simple reason more bullets.
More bullets.
Yeah. The revolver is more reliable.
weapon? Yeah, there's no failure.
Yeah.
That's why I was curious about what you would say about that.
Yeah. If I'm going to war, I'm going to take the semi-auto, and I'm going to take this bad boy.
There you go.
The stopping power on that one.
Right.
The
Arnold
The
Schwarzenegger.
the real one, not the pellet one.
Rambo. He's Steve over there.
Right, superior firepower.
Yeah.
Right? And and
So that and a knife is all you need.
and maybe a couple of mules, to haul all the ammunition.
I was gonna
With all
say.
your gear. It's one man army, man, Tony. One man army.
So here we go with the infamous rubber band gun.
Oh,
Yeah, you shot some people with it. I heard.
rubber band welts.
I got a million war stories.
This looks homemade. Did you make it, or what? Did you carve that thing out of some balsa wood in your garage, or what's the story with this?
Actually, one of my students made it.
That's cool.
Wow. So what's the story? Tell you have war story. Give me the best war story you have on that one.
Okay,
There was
Oh
one-
shit, he's got rubber
Yeah,
bands.
just don't shoot, Steve. Please. Don't
Shoot,
shoot.
Misha.
Hands up. If you're gonna shoot quick Nick, man. Shoot quick Nick, man.
I got a fence around it.
Yeah. See if it penetrates through his freaking defenses.
Okay,
Shield your eyes,
like I said,
shield
a million war stories, but the very best one was there was this person here who used to train here. We called him Shrek. And he's about 300 and some pounds.
Shrek? The guy that trained here?
Yeah.
Old Jim.
I was going to say, what happened to Shrek? I've never
Yeah.
seen this
I
guy.
never knew Shrek.
Yeah. Well, he was a character. He still is.
You still see him?
On occasion.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's still around. He just doesn't
Yeah,
train
you see,
anymore.
he doesn't come in the gym anymore.
Yeah. You would have
Shrek
wars.
was training with another person,
Fiona.
right, and who
His
was
his wife Fiona.
actually in the same career field, right? And
Career field. Oh,
yeah.
that sounds interesting.
yeah, they were in the same career field.
Okay.
Right?
Sounds exciting.
And this person, that he was training with said, yeah, just for giggles, why don't you shoot Shrek with your rubber band gun? So I shot him, right? And Shrek is not the most coordinated person in the world. And he tripped over his feet and fell flat on his ass. And I mean, the jib shook.
All because you shot him with his rubber band thing? Where the hell did you get him?
Yeah.
Get him in the ass or what?
Yeah, I shot him right in his fat ass.
Forrest Gump.
and the person who was training with said, "That's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life."
Him
man."
falling, causing a small earthquake.
There was literally a dent in the mat where he fell. I mean, like the building shook, the window shook. I mean, it was fucking hilarious.
So shoot the hat up there. See if it'll knock it down. Let's see what. Oh. It's got some force to it. That's impressive.
Well, if it took down Shrek, man, I messed with that gun, man. Damn.
I shot him right in his fat ass, man. It was hilarious. And he fell. Tripped over his
Steve
feet.
and his bag of tricks.
Yeah, see, that's what he does. Like he said, he terrorizes people right here. That's why when you see Steve and you don't want to be in any vicinity of Steve, man, you run. You see Steve pulling out his weapons, you gotta kind of watch him and see, like, what does he have on today? Like, what's he pulling out today? What's he playing with today? And
And
then
you always
kind of base your escape routes based on what he
Depending on-
has. Depends on what he has.
depending on which toy
If
he's
Steve
bringing.
is there, man, you don't go to that corner.
Is
right?
this shin conditioning day
Yeah,
or
the
what
shin
is it?
condition, yeah, shin conditioning, everyone's gone. Yeah. What
Shin
else you got?
conditioning.
What else you got?
Okay, so we got some really ancient weapons here.
Ancient. All right.
Okay.
Oh,
These are
what the hell?
That's a medieval.
Takos.
What do they call them? Say it again.
Tako.
Taco,
Right.
like a taco, but with it the long
Right.
A.
Break up a brisket with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, the history of this was patterned
Takos.
after the horse stirrup.
Oh, it actually looks like that. Okay, that makes sense.
Right, and many of the techniques are the vertical fist punch. So if you get punched with this, you got to keep your wrist straight. That's a bad day. And also,
So these are like modified brass knuckles.
yes, all right, and
It's more like medieval stuff. Tell me what it looks like.
yeah, and also hammer fists.
Oh shit.
So if you get this part, you strike with a hammer fist. Right. And my teacher used to have us million war stories. Used to have us punch brick walls and cinder block walls with these. And if you look closely, you can see they're actually cracked from
I see that.
From breaking too many walls.
Yeah, from hitting brick
Wow. I see
walls.
it's
and,
cracked, yeah.
Yeah, you need to re-weld it.
But it gives it some character.
Yeah, it does. It does. It was used. It was used.
Yeah.
Put some time on
Yeah,
it.
I do use my weapons, so
Obviously.
so nothing is collecting dust.
Damn, I don't want to know who you use them on.
But,
Well, he's not married anymore.
If you punch brick walls with this, you'll learn to keep your wrist straight. That's for sure.
You got like a dungeon in your basement kind of thing, it's like a torture chamber.
No comment.
We don't want to
Did,
know.
does the FBI need to know about this stuff? I'm just-
I am fucking going to steal or your mystery van that you don't want to be trapped in.
the creeper van.
Creeper van.
No, like I said, I know a lot of the police officers, so I get shit from the police officers all the time. Rape van,
Yeah.
kidnap van,
Well, yeah, you got
pedophile van.
the white van.
I mean, the cops, they're more perverted than the criminals.
Well, when you drive around in a white panel van, you're gonna get those comments, Steve. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
You're just-
where's the missing children van? Right.
Jesus, God, we
People
don't
start
wanna know.
posting milk cartons on his van.
Nah,
Okay,
Steve is
so-
a good man.
Oh,
Holy
shit.
smokes.
It's like some kind of Russian thing right there.
What Russian? That's ninja shit. Remember
Okay.
ninja movies, man? That's what
It's
they
a sickle.
invent.
That's on the flag. It's on the
No,
Russian flag, man.
Bro, no.
That's like Skeletor.
Dude, this is either you see the ninja movies
Yes.
all the time. That's their like priority weapon.
Okay, in Japanese, these are called kama, which means sickle.
Comma.
Right?
Sickle.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's
Alright,
not the
so-
Russian sickle, man.
Yeah. Right.
It's a
Well,
miniature version.
It's it's an operational sickle.
Yeah,
right?
used to cut grass, right?
Yeah,
No?
trim trees, and the history of these weapons. It was used against the samurai sword. So in the feudal Orient, the samurai had absolute power of life and death. He could just pull out his sword and chop your head off. The peasants didn't like that.
I don't know why.
Yeah, they had the
So,
sickle weapons.
Yeah, so they made weapons out of farming and fishing implements.
And they're
Right.
pretty effective.
And this is the same angles and trajectory as the stick, right? So you have the forehand
crack
and you have
someone
the
on the head like
backhand, right? Forehand, backhand, right? And you can
Pull from the
hook
neck,
and
from the-
cut with these, right?
They're
So-
sharp on the inside, right?
No,
Oh, no?
these are the training ones,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So typically, would it be sharpened on both edges, both
Yes.
sides? Okay.
Right.
Of course.
And yeah, I got a million war stories like that. I was using the razor sharp ones, but in a competition, they required you to cover them with
Tape or something.
with leather covers and tape them, right? And there's a move where you sweep past your leg in one of the forms, and I did that, and I looked at the judges, and they all had this panicked look on their face.
Because the cover fell off.
No.
Because it was Steve.
No, because
How many guesses do we get?
my leg was spurting blood.
Oh, shit.
So
Did
it
you cut yourself or did someone cut you?
yes, I cut myself. It cut through
The leather.
all the tape,
Oh,
all the
shit.
leather, and my canvas uniform.
Holy crap.
Right. And I look, and the cover is like 20 feet away, and the judges are all panicked.
So you like swung it off and.
right,
Okay.
with the centrifugal force of the
Oh,
move.
damn. And you
right.
hadn't even felt it yet. So
I hadn't.
and
I was
until
looking.
you look at it. Isn't that crazy how you
yeah.
you don't know you're cut until you look
Yeah,
at it?
then
that
I
hurts.
looked down, and there was blood spurting everywhere.
Oh, so you get an artery.
Yes, it works.
Yeah. Right.
How many cuts you have all around your body?
I lost count.
Oh, there's like a PR-24 looking
Okay.
thing.
This is
I know those,
the tonfa. It literally means handle, right?
Yeah.
So the alternative use of it was used to turn the millstone, right? And then
It's funny how commonly used
Things turn
tools
into
to
weapons.
it ends up being becoming a weapon.
well, of course, right?
You-
I don't want to have my head chopped off either. Right. And that's a bit patterned after the PR-24.
Yeah.
So with the law enforcement, right?
Well, that became the PR-20.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
they
was
made- they
around
made-
way before PR-24. I
yeah,
assume,
that's it, yeah. So they made the shaft a little more rounded with the
Yeah.
PR-24.
Of course. Oh, I
Right.
loved that tool. Yeah,
Right.
you could really get some momentum with that thing,
Yeah.
twisting
Yeah,
that thing
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you know,
Probably good for like crowd control. Something.
yeah,
like
that's
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
what they're for.
Yeah.
And then you strike people's
Yeah, you can-
collarbones
you can
and
use
Right.
so many different
use it.
things.
Just a lot of different things.
yeah, there's a plethora of applications.
Damn,
Right.
those are cool ones.
And then of course we have got the
Nunchucks.
nunchaku, right?
No, say it again. Nunchaku.
Nunchaku.
Which country are these origins from?
Japanese.
No, it's also Japanese,
Okay.
and it's used as a rice flail, right? So
Rice.
flail, right? So to pound the rice, right? Make it a little more soft. To
See?
make it
Oh,
And
like
then-
this,
a
like
little
this,
more-
right?
And then it became
Exactly.
a weapon.
And became Bruce Lee made it a weapon because
Yeah.
that's when
Well,
I remember when I was a kid and was growing up in Russia and Bruce Lee became so famous, man. We were making our owns,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember so many of bruises and things like that from those things because we play in the street and we'll kick each other, hit each other. Yeah.
So from smacking rice to
deadly
a weapon.
weapon.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, actually, like I said, it was used against the samurai sword.
Yeah.
Right? If you swing this with sufficient force and you hit the side of the sword, you can break it.
Holy shit.
Right.
I hit
And
someone
yeah,
before that.
and to the samurai, if he's got a broken sword, that's worse.
Useless. Yeah.
Well, that's worse than
You might as well just kill yourself.
spitting on his grave.
Yeah.
You'd probably have to,
You just have to do
commit
some seppuku right
suicide.
there,
Yeah.
It's all over
Can you
for you.
spin them like Bruce Lee did, like that fast pace speed?
No, I
Oh,
can't.
Bruce Lee was a legend. With
I
his-
can't play ping pong with a bird.
Yeah, he was crazy.
But I can do the figure eights very fast, right, and a lot of other manipulations. A million war stories too, right? You know, if you're not careful, you can knock yourself out with these.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right.
Easy,
So there's a move in the forms where you do the figure eight and then you snap it and you catch it above your head, like so, right?
Yeah.
And there's been a couple of times where it bounced off my hand.
You didn't catch it right.
And knocked me the fuck out.
You wake up a few minutes later. What happened?
There's people going, standing over me, how many fingers, what is your name? Where are you?
Years that.
Yeah, I've had that experience more times than I care to remember.
You should. They should make a Hollywood movie just of you, man. I'm telling you, man. Seriously, just follow day in this crazy, one day in crazy Steve's life or something. Just following you,
driving around in his van.
following you,
in his
man,
panel
when
van.
you're training things like, oh, that's the one.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Stainless steel stuff.
Now we have the Psy.
Oh shit. Here we go.
Oh, sorry about it. Right, and this also had alternative uses, right?
That would break swords. I know that.
Yes. They would attach this to an end of a staff, right, and use it to hook the fishing nets.
Oh,
Seriously.
There you go. See?
Right?
More
Right.
practical uses.
Right, and another use of it was used as a pin for an ox cart.
A pin.
Right. Yeah, in the wheel.
Oh.
Stick it in the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a pin.
But
in
then
the-
it's there in case you need it. You're attacked. You can.
Exactly. Like I said, these were
Strategically
lying
placed
all
weapons.
around the feudal Orient, right? Very common to see these because, like I said, it had all these alternative uses. Another use was they would punch holes in the ground and plant their seeds.
That's crazy.
Seriously.
That's awesome
right?
that you know the history of all this stuff.
Well,
he's a weapons master.
Yeah.
part of the traditional training is, you get to learn the history of
course.
the weapon, right?
Yeah. You can't appreciate it right unless you know the history.
Yeah, unless you know the history, yeah.
You gotta use it. You gotta use it right.
All right.
That's Raphael's weapon.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, Ninja
Yeah,
Turtle. Yeah,
Turtle.
Ninja Turtle.
Raphael.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got the best war story I have with this is one of my exes. Right?
Which no longer here.
That sounds like the beginning of any good story. One of my exes.
Yeah, I'm sick of people asking me how I disposed of the body.
Well, he's got that dungeon with some lie.
Yeah, one of my exes called these evil-looking forks.
Forks. Yeah, I can see
So
it.
I can see,
Yeah.
it is quite a bit of a fork there, right?
Yeah. Stop playing with your forks, Steve. Come eat your
what
dinner.
Steve, you got to go to Moscow, man, to Weapons Museum, man. There's a Weapons Museum in Russia.
Right.
Oh my God, it spans like centuries, collection of some of the best weapons in the history of the in the history period.
Kalishnikovs to the sickles
to turrets, and it's huge. It's huge. It's right by Kremlin. If you even go on their website one time, it looked like a Weapons Museum in Moscow. I've been there when I was a kid, Steve. It will be heaven for you. Heaven.
Okay.
You'll sleep there, man.
It wouldn't be heaven because he doesn't get to play with it. He doesn't want to look
Still,
at it. He wants to touch it.
just looking at those things. They have not just that, but they have like munitions and what knights wore and all type of different and Tatar Mongols what they were and history of all type of, like from battlefields and it's insane. I don't know if they have something like this in America, but it's one of the most famous destinations to go to when
I
you're
think
in
the
Moscow.
Smithsonian
they have every weapon.
Institute has
They
some
have
weapon,
that some right,
weapon
but this is just
museum.
dedicated to like weaponry.
I think they have that at the one of the museums because the Smithsonian is several museums. It's not just one museum.
Probably the
There's
section,
the Space Museum.
section
There's
of
the,
it.
there's the it takes
Where
you
is
can't even
Smith-
see it in a day.
where
It's
is
like
the
a
Smithsonian?
couple of
Where is
it's in D.C.
Yeah,
I would love to go somewhere.
Yeah, Washington D.C.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating. It's you can't do it justice in a day. It's impossible to see the whole thing.
I agree. Even when you go to the Museum of Natural History in New York, have you been to that one?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
big,
it's
man.
huge.
It's
Yeah.
big. It's one big building, but like you in there,
Yeah,
you're
you
like,
can't do
oh my
these
God,
things.
yeah. There's like floors after floors after floors. All right. What else you got, Stevie?
Next. Stuff clanking over there.
I think it's I know
What
what
is
it is. It's butterfly knives.
Bones.
Butterfly knives. Yeah,
Yeah.
those.
Oh, there we
yeah,
go.
I heard them clinking. I already knew because I hear that stuff on the mats all the time. And Steve starts pulling them out.
Yep.
Clink, clink, clink.
Okay, so the butterfly knife. Once again,
That's an intimidating looking freaking thing.
Those are
man.
famous. They've been in the market forever, man. When I was a kid in Russia, I used to play with those things. It feels powerful, like spinning them in the hand. I used to love playing with them. Cut myself a couple of times as well.
Yeah.
But you have a good master of them.
If you don't know how to handle it right.
Well, this one I never seen.
Oh
again.
shit! Yeah, what's
I
it?
had the other one like that. That's different shape.
No, it's a Tonto blade.
Tanto?
Yeah.
Tanto.
Yeah, so the
Tonto.
the point is really nasty. Yeah.
The way he says it with his
It's
intonation.
really nasty.
That's nasty. I know. I tried it many times.
Oh, he was in the Marine Corps.
Movie scene with the arch villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Evil mind, Steve.
Bayonets.
But yeah, once again, this is extremely difficult to manipulate. Right?
Well, this I was about to say. This is something you can actually show. Yeah, it's not big enough to. Yeah, look at that.
Right, so very fine motor skills. Right, so you once again we go from the hammer grip to the ice pick grip. Right, but that does take. Right, and you have to flick so that the
Flick the
latch
wrist.
the latch doesn't catch. Right, so the standard manipulation is the 3 beat 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
really, yeah.
1,
That's
2,
the one I used to
3,
deal with.
1, 2, 3.
I know how to
1,
do
2.
it.
Okay, so it's called that because it that particular motion.
Misha
is,
knows how to do it. Let him do it.
Let me try.
Let me
I
see him
don't know
cut
if I
himself.
remember.
not with
Let me see him cut
not
himself.
with this one. It's sharp.
We had the live stream early with blood.
It doesn't look as smooth as the way Steve was doing it.
Come on, look.
Yeah.
Right, Steve?
That's the basic motion. Yes.
Oh, look at that. So he does know what he's talking about.
Go Misha.
Go,
There you go.
Misha.
Yeah.
I got some skills, see?
Yeah.
Eye to eye, man. Eye to
Yeah,
eye.
he's a weapons
Got
expert.
my
too. You
weapons
never know.
here.
There you go.
I got some stuff too, man. I know I do have appreciation for weapons, no doubt about it. This is
Just-
pretty cool, and there's so many.
It's not automatic weapons. It's
No, I have appreciation for this. I just don't feel like the person needs to run around with this in the street and stuff.
Not in the street.
Yeah, but
that would attract too much unwanted attention. Yeah, so the butterfly knives, it's called that because that particular motion is similar to a butterfly in flight.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Right, so if you look, if you really watch a butterfly's wings when it's flying, right, it is
Kind of that
very similar to this motion.
Oh, wow.
Huh. Makes sense.
And so
Butterfly.
that's why
So
they're
that's how
called.
that's how it got named the butterfly.
Oops.
No, that's
there
all right.
Goes, there goes
Yeah,
the
there goes
there's-
Isaac. There goes the Shermanator signature. You just
So
scarred it.
there's there's no.
See, now
divot
our
in the-
table had the taste of what Steve tasted.
Well, we're gonna-
his bad for his
We're
fucking
gonna have to
weapons.
have to have him stab the table and sign right by it. Yeah.
This is a pretty famous table, Steve.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it's, it
You
does
can-
have a lot of signatures.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
There's a lot of
yours is
history.
coming on it too. Sweet,
So,
sweet, sweet.
And probably the most practical one to carry
There you
is
go.
Christ,
the
man.
Tonto.
The Tonto.
And
The
the-
bigger
so
one,
this
bigger
is-
version.
This is the leather neck.
So
Tonto.
what's the history with the Tonto? Where'd this come from? With a name like Tonto, it's almost Native American sounding.
No, there's every country has their indigenous martial arts and their indigenous weaponry. But the Tonto is more Japanese than
Yeah. Those Japanese thought
So
of
you
so
have
many
more
cool
love for Japanese weapons, it seems like.
No, I appreciate all weapons, but my training
Mostly
is mostly Japanese, especially the traditional training.
So Steven Seagal, what is that he trains? What is
It's
it?
called Aikido or Aikijutsu.
Because he does the sticks and all that stuff. Is that the
Right.
same thing you do, or is that something else?
It's very similar.
Steven Seagal got nothing on the actual.
Well, yeah, well, but you see Steven Seagal on
Steve-
movies.
Yeah, you
We
should
don't
be like,
see Steve enough in the
Steve who?
movies.
Steve who? That's
Right.
only one Steve, man.
Steven Seagal. We got Steven Schrenkel here.
Right.
Crazy Steve.
Yeah.
It's still SS.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a vicious, deadly weapon.
What's that word?
It's a leather neck.
Oh, leather neck.
Yeah, leather neck, but it's worn off. It's because I use my weapons.
No way.
Well, the Marines, yeah, you always gotta have your knife.
Yes. Yeah. Die with your knife.
You should
in your
come up with
hand.
your line of weapons, man, like Crazy Steve edition or something. Like, you come up, patent that. Something. I'm sure you probably thought about it. I mean,
Get a knife named after him or something. The
Yeah.
Crazy Steve edition.
Yeah. I'm not really into the money, but
Steve don't need money.
well, everybody needs money, but
But I think you're pretty well off in a way that you're always happy, in good spirit all the time.
He is always
He's
happy.
You always bring good energy. You're never sad. You're always the same. You're always the same.
yeah. Well, I'm grateful for every day, especially since what I've survived in my life.
And you've been here. I think it's a good safe haven for a lot of people. It seems like that people found home here for whatever reasons, right? And it's a good place.
It's a wonderful place. Like I said, all of the martial arts schools I've been a member.
It's a place for misfits.
Dozens
They let me in.
and dozens of different martial arts schools. This school is far and away the best,
Thank you.
right? And I can come in here and I can forget all of my problems, right? I
should
leave.
have done
I leave.
When you walk
I
in the
leave.
doors.
Walk in the door and I leave all the bullshit out
I
there.
agree. That's exactly what happens. I might have the worst day. I wake up in the morning very grudgy and unhappy, whatever it might be. Whatever bothering me. And you get in here, everything goes out the window.
It does.
Just so much excitement here. I don't know.
Get excited when there's a cameo picture of Crazy Steve in the group pics or the running around the gym with his weapons.
I love
get
the.
excited.
Yeah, who's the psychopath with the machine
And he
gun?
has no social media whatsoever, so he doesn't even know what they say about him.
Right.
Care less about that.
Yeah.
It's like
Social media,
Yeah.
what?
The Marine Corps. I don't give a fuck about that stupid fucking shit.
100%. See, that guy's coming from real heart.
when did you go into the Marine Corps? How old were you?
17.
Right at 17.
Yeah, my father actually signed for me.
He's like, get out of here. Go
That
learn
was
something.
basically it. Yeah, I'll
Stop
say,
causing trouble here. You're out of here.
Go terrorize military, man. Stop terrorizing my family and your neighbors.
I got just the place for you, Steve. The Marine Corps. Was he in the service at all?
Yeah,
or-
well, yeah, there's been, a military man in my family since,
Okay,
the
so-
Civil War.
Oh, there you go. So you're just following in the footsteps.
Yeah, that's it.
How cool is
Do you have
that?
kids, Steve, or no?
I do.
You do?
Yeah,
They're here in Albuquerque or no?
I don't know.
Oh.
Any of the Marines?
I don't know.
Oh, so you're not close?
No.
Oh, sorry
Oh,
to
he's-
hear.
Scares them away with all these weapons, man. It's,
Well, it wasn't me. It was the mothers.
yeah, those take mothers.
Yeah,
Oh, the
that's
mother, so there's couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the mother's fault.
Yeah, let's blame them. I don't know how. You're a great guy. How could they not love you?
I scare the shit out of them.
Yeah, well, you scare everyone around here, so you do it equally. You're an equal opportunity
I
scarer.
am. I'm just like Dirty Harry, I scare everybody.
But
Yeah,
in all
but
fairness,
we
Steve,
appreciate
you're pretty harmless, man. You are a friend, man. You are a teammate for forever, ever, and ever, and ever. And you
Right.
know that, right? So
Of course.
we've been together, and we know who you are. You know who we are. So
Well,
we have a good relationship.
and you know who else is a Marine? Is have you met Ethan, the guy that owns Fire Team Fit?
I don't think so.
He was just here earlier today, showing off his belts. We have he's our sponsor for the show, and he's got these cool weight belts that you can see. We've got one of our colorful ones over here, very lightweight.
As a matter of fact, you wear back support, right? Because
I do,
Yeah, we gotta get you one of these.
We gotta
Actually,
give one to Steve with military. Then. What size is this? What size is he? Probably large, right?
Yes.
so he was a Marine.
Nick, get him one, all right?
Once a Marine, always a Marine. He's a recon kind of guy.
Right.
And he started a company selling these belts, and cool thing about it is it's a local company, and for every sale he does, $1 goes back to help
Wounded
Marines.
Warrior?
Exactly.
That's an outstanding
Yeah.
organization.
No, it's
Is
the
it-
Raider Project. It helps Marine recon guys get their business established.
So he's putting his money back into other
helping other
Marines
people
trying to start businesses. So
Either way, it's good.
so when you start your business, there's funds available for you there, Steve. It's just apply.
Not interested. Yeah, A Million War Stories. Many years ago, I got involved in the business aspect of martial arts. And it really, really sucked.
The business end, it's not fun. Huh?
No,
you just want to play with it. You don't want to.
Yeah,
Make it a
as you
business.
know, martial arts is the #1 passion in my life. It is just so much fun. And if you get involved in the business aspect, it's no longer any fun.
Which would I do, but I mean, it depends, I think we're all right.
You leave that to the Winks and the Greg Jacksons of the world.
Mishas.
Yeah. Let them deal with the business
Yeah.
aspect. I just want to train and have fun.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
it's very, very hard to kind of
and
separate the two, I
teach.
guess.
A lot of the guys I have taught, some of the stick basics too.
I have seen you training
And I
some of
have
the guys
seen
like
the guys
Ricky.
approach you and ask
Yeah.
you how to properly handle gun and pull. I remember that. I've seen that all the time.
and that's
Yes.
cool that you're there for them to do that. That's awesome.
I even taught Wink for a while, and until he got so busy.
Yeah, he's a busy guy, but I'm sure he misses those days.
Oh yeah,
Well,
it was
Steve-
some
well,
good times.
Wink
yeah.
is the one guy that will actually, when he comes around, shin conditioning,
He'll
and
participate.
he goes up to Wink, and Wink's like, "All right, go ahead." Oh, right on the shit. Ugh, I cringe just thinking about it. This is.
Hey, you gotta
No, I don't
respect
want no part.
that.
I have no shins, so don't condition my shins. I don't want no
Okay.
conditioning. I know you've tried a few times, but Misha wants it.
No.
He trains. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. He needs that shin conditioning.
I don't know.
Well, Steve, we this was an honor to have you on the show today. I appreciate it.
Hey, it
Are
was-
we out? Are we out of toys, or is there still? Or are we still going?
Now that's about it for now.
No, well, we'll save some for the.
we'll
We'll
have
save some for the next time.
We'll have edition 2 some other day.
Steve, we
But you have way more, right?
yeah.
I do.
I do.
So some of them
Okay.
can't fit in the room. Yeah.
Pulls it in the tank next time.
Don't get them started. But Steve, it's been a pleasure having you with us, and we always look forward to when you show up. It's it brings positive energy to the place, and your training and your history with the place is awesome. And I thought it was a good thing to let the world know that
This gym
your
has it
history with
all.
this place. Yeah,
We've seen it all.
you've been there from the beginning, and Greg. Coach Jackson has nothing but good things to say about you. I mean, obviously the history
Greg
is there.
loves you,
and,
man. Come on.
and so it's awesome. It's awesome to see that all these years later you're still good friends, and he doesning call a whole lot of people friends. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah, martial arts training makes friends for life. There's one Wing Chun teacher that I've been friends with for 45 years.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
There you go.
It's my oldest friend in Albuquerque.
Wow. Bring him here one time.
Oh, yeah, he's been here before.
Oh, okay.
He brings them after hours. They do their secret stuff.
Yeah.
When we pull up the cameras at
behind
night,
closed
yeah.
doors.
We see
behind
Steve in
closed-
there late at night,
specialized training, ninja
Yeah.
training.
Yeah, in martial arts there really are no secrets. There's really only one secret, and that's just hard work.
The five punch
No.
death.
It's
You
just
would know.
hard
You would know
work.
nothing about it.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah.
know
Come
nothing
on, teach me the
about it.
5-palm death thing. Come
Oh,
on,
I
Steve.
tried to
Come
get
on.
him involved in jiu-jitsu. He lasted one day.
Yeah.
I choked him
Yeah,
out.
he
one
choked
time.
me out.
I'm
He
done.
still brags about this. He freaking
Right.
choked out a white belt first day. It's like an honor for him.
Yeah,
Freaking brown belt.
Yeah, you don't want to get on the mat with me and Max. You're gonna get eye gouged and oil
There you
checked.
go. See,
Yeah, because actually it's funny
Pinched.
because just besides weapons, you train all type of weird freaking
Yeah,
techniques, like how to do,
Finger lock, fish hook, right?
Yeah.
And Max will bite your ass.
Well, I'm gonna start training with Steve with the cane because
We gotta record their training session one day.
yeah, I think I have before actually.
You gotta post
I
it.
think you did what was it,
On one of the-
dancing?
On
Yeah,
one-
dancing.
Well, definitely
yeah.
dancing. I
Yeah.
made a video for your sister or something.
Yeah.
She,
Yeah,
Alright.
she loved that video, man. She loves you.
what is it called? The what's that song? The
Oh, bailando.
Bailando. Yeah,
Yeah, that's Spanish for dancing.
for 4 minutes he danced to Bailando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Team.
thanks for tuning in, guys. We try to keep these things entertaining week after week, and go help us out by supporting our
Give you
sponsor.
an inside look into
Jackson
the
Wink,
life of Jackson
behind the
Wink
scenes.
and the type of characters that come through the doors. So
Go visit our social media. Go visit our website. We always post some cool stuff.
JacksonWink.com. If you want to train here, go on there, submit your inquiry, and we'll be happy to have you come join the team. You'll not regret it.
That being said, see you guys next week.
Thank you, Steve. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Through these doors walk the greatest fighters in the world.